Listen, you stupid dumb bitch.
Sean speaks. What's he even thinking? What does he know? Does anybody care? Sean speaks. What's he even saying? Can someone shut him up? Does anybody care?
All right, guys. So what I thought we'd do for this Sean Speaks was talk about the movie Kids and whether or not it's a Gen X movie or a millennial movie. Up for debate. To me, at least, it's up for debate. So first off, hi waffles. All right. So what I thought we'd do first is I guess most of you have heard of this movie or seen the movie, and if not, have heard about it at least. We can just go over a little bit of what the movie's about. Kids is one of the most raw and controversial movies to come out of the 1990s. The film follows a group of teenagers spending a single day roaming around New York City, skateboarding, partying, drinking, doing drugs, and chasing sex with almost no supervision from adults anywhere in sight. At the center of the story is Telly, a teenager obsessed with sleeping with as many young girls as possible, believing that sleeping with virgins keeps him safe. What he doesn't realize is that he's HIV positive. Meanwhile, Jenny, one of the girls he slept with, discovers she's infected and spends the entire movie desperately trying to find him before he unknowingly spreads it to someone else. And as the day goes on, movie jumps between different groups of teens, showing reckless behavior, peer pressure, casual cruelty, insecurity, and how disconnected these kids really were, despite always being surrounded by people. What made Kids so shocking is when it was released and how real it felt. The dialogue sounded natural, the acting felt almost documentary-like, and the movie refused to glamorize what it was showing. Instead, it presents a harsh look at the youth culture of the mid-90s, especially the lack of guidance, consequences, and awareness surrounding sex, drugs, and violence. By the ending, the movie leaves you feeling uncomfortable on purpose. There's no happy resolution, no big lesson speech, just the feeling that these characters are trapped in a cycle they barely even understand. And that realism is exactly why Kids became one of the most talked about independent films of the 1990s. And even today, Kids still sparks debates because people can't agree on whether it's an important warning, an exploitation, or both at the same time. But regardless of where someone stands on it, the movie absolutely captured a very specific kind of 90s urban atmosphere that felt dangerous, chaotic, and completely unsupervised. The grainy cinematography, the skate culture, the music, the street conversations, it all feels locked into that era. And because the film refuses to soften anything or make the characters more movie-like, it ends up feeling disturbingly authentic. And that's why Kids stayed in people's minds for decades. Not because it was fun to watch, because it felt too real. That's the description. But as far as the generational goes, so I wrote down some key points, or I got some key points actually. So, as far as their ages go, the kids in the movie are, like this says, between 15 and 17, right? So that puts them being born, just came out in 94, being born 78 to 80. So they were the later part of Gen X, if you go by that specific orientation of it. But there was also younger kids in the movie. I saw, younger kids in the movie, especially the party scene with the younger boys that are there. So they're a couple years younger, which puts them being born in the beginning of the 80s, which would mean technically they're millennials because that's what they have as down for millennial now. They changed us, left us at a Gen X and put us in the millennial. Yeah, so that's that portion of it, but it makes sense, but it doesn't. There's also younger kids in the movie. They're not as prevalent, but they're also in the movie. Also, it's the latchkey generation, so throughout the movie, there's really any adults to begin with, but all the adults are really like checked out. They don't, care what's going on, don't pay attention. Just going on through their meaningless lives while these kids just run rampant, fucking crazy, and doing whatever the hell they want to do. See, yeah, the style's like mixed, man, because especially like the skate culture and stuff like that. Like we grew up like that too. I was born in '84, so but like skate culture was a thing when I was a kid too in the '90s. So I don't understand how that automatically makes that a Gen X thing and not really a millennial thing. But I don't know. At this point, I'm just arguing with myself to argue with myself because that's just it. um, Great point is it's a purely analog world in the movie of kids, right? So there's no cell phones, no computers, um, no internet, obviously, but it might be pagers. I don't remember off the top of my head, but they might have been. They might have paged somebody. I don't remember that. That's a possibility. Um, but yeah, all the digital stuff is not. There's no digital blueprint at all, or footprint. Excuse me, no digital footprint at all. So that really puts it more of a in a Gen X world. Millennials do remember a time before all this stuff. It just wasn't where it happened in that point of our lives. You know, so I don't really. It doesn't really make it a Gen X thing to me either. So I don't know. For millennials, the end of teen innocence is what it says for millennials. Because we grew up on the 24-hour news cycle, with the epidemic, the HIV/AIDS epidemic. Yeah, I mean that was with the Gen X too. So I don't know. That was kind of weird. um, but yeah, I don't know. I really don't. It's a Gen X movie. It is. I just want to kind of have like this little mini debate with myself about it and kind of point out because really I think the point is I'm mad still that we were removed from Gen X and put in millennials when they changed it from like 20 years to 15 years or whatever. Um, so very disappointed in that. And it's making me question things and try to put in some kind of perspective or it makes us look better. I guess I don't know. Oh, it says here it's like this was like a perfect time for like the bridging between the two generations. Between Gen X and millennials, that little Zennial mid generation they call it, not mid generation, but I don't remember what the hell it's called, but I think that's what they call it. Like the Zennials is like from the tail end to the beginning of when it's from like 77 to 84 or something like that. Because we kind of go back and forth with little things on both sides. So it's kind of a little micro, I think a micro generation. But I don't know. What I do know is I feel like Gen X is like very not underrated, underappreciated, underrepresented, right? Um, Most of the arguments and all the stupid crap you always see on the news or in politics or whatever is always with like baby boomers and the millennials or Gen Z. I feel like there's no representation of Gen X anymore. Well, a lot of the generational icons passed away, unfortunately. But yeah, I just feel like they're not represented. Like baby boomers have these people, all the old actors, they're all the powerful people, pretty much baby boomers, and then millennials. We have all these people, all other actors, younger actors today and stuff like that, and musicians that are still powerful influences. And then Gen Z has like all the mainstream things right now is them and the next one, Gen A or whatever. Kind of mixed between the two of those, but yeah, they're just it's like a forgotten generation, kind of. Well, I mean, they were forgotten, or we whatever were like forgotten as kids essentially. No supervision most of the time. And maybe it's just continued on now to where like they're still a kind of a forgotten generation. Because no one really has beef with them. They kind of just are just there and they do their own thing. It's just great, and I feel like they just want to live their lives the easiest and don't complain and bitch about things like other people do. My own millennials included. I was gonna say my own generation, but yeah, I guess. Just always have bitches and gripes about stuff. Well, Gen Y, obviously, why, which that's one of the reasons I feel like, that's an after me thing, man. So I just feel like we should be Gen X. But yeah, it was like the Y generation, or asking why did I have to do this, why did I have to do that, blah 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 blah, complaining. I think it said Gen Z actually like is the opposite of that. I try to be different, I guess, from the last generation, but it doesn't seem like the thought processes are that different between Gen X, millennial, and Gen Z. I'm trying to think about it because my daughter is Gen Z. She's like the last year of Gen Z, but she's still Gen Z supposedly. So it's kind of her thing. One more generation, one or two, depending on how you do it, from Gen X to Millennial to Gen Z. Sorry, syncing stuff too. Working on a couple of videos, so trying to push things out. But yeah, going back to the forgotten thing, I just feel like there's never been like a torch passed. You know what I mean? Because now I'm thinking in my head, like Gen X, they're, you know, like 40 to 55, 60 years old is like the age of Gen X right now. And I feel like the role was never turned over from the baby. I mean, obviously, I don't remember before that how it was. You know, I was never around for a generational change like that. But it just feels like millennials are the thing. So it's like baby boomers are still a plethora amount of them. But eventually, dwindling, and millennials are kind of just. I feel like the court just kind of been unofficially handed to them. That's what it feels like in my head. And Gen X was just like skipped over and forgotten about, or just skipped over because they just didn't want to deal with it. They just wanted to live their lives and have fun and, you know, be people. I don't know. It's a good question. Too many questions. Arnold Palmer, very good. I didn't want to get it, but it's like a sale with a tea, something, the Arizona tea, like, I don't know, but I want to get one, maybe something like that. And the normal tea, there's only one left, so I had to grab that. And I was like, I don't know if I want this Arnold Palmer. You know, but Jen's like, just get it. Maybe it's something, you know, your taste kind of changes. Not saying I hated it, but especially when I was in my 20s, or not my 20s, my later teens, and I guess 20, maybe. But I worked at like this retirement home, and we used to make those. You know, when they wanted to drink, if they wanted an Arnold Palmer, it's lemonade and iced tea. As the first, I think that's the first time I ever heard of that when I was a kid. So I was probably like 17, 18 when I first heard the term, or 16, 17, 8, I don't remember, 16 maybe. When I first heard the term, I'm like, what the hell's Arnold Palmer? But it was like, it's okay, but not really. But I'm liking it now. I'm like back. I'm back on a tea kick, a kind of an iced tea kick. Try and drink less soda and drink more iced tea. But I like lemonade. I just don't drink it very often, but I do like lemonade a lot. This is kind of progressed from a talk about Gen X and millennials during the movie Kids, which really the topic made no sense. It's definitely a Gen X movie. I'm just bitter, which might make me a millennial. And now it's just talk. It's just not even a rant. I'm just talking. But maybe, hey, maybe something good will come up. Who knows? I'll put it out there. And when I watch it from my other account, I'll be my one viewer, and I'll be able to, you know, talk to myself some more. So I have 3 shows coming up. The 4th of July weekend. If I didn't tell you, I'm sure I've talked about it before, but I play King George for this tribute thing that we do called Rise Up. Very awesome, very fun time. All the performers are great. Going like on a little trip, a 3-day trip, or 4-day trip, 3-day trip. Well, it's three performances, but I think St. Louis first on July 3rd, July 4th in Nashville, and then July 5th in Chicago. And then we come back the next day. 4-day trip. Yeah, 4-day trip. It's gonna be interesting. I know it's just like it's just. Well, it's not just it's you know, it's something for, you know, I'm not anybody special. So it's like at these wineries. It's like a brand around the country. I forget what they're called. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. I can look it up right now. City Winery. It's called City Winery. Excuse me. So yeah, St. Louis. Oh. My bad. St. Louis, July 4th. Nashville, July 5th. Chicago, July 6th. My bad. Yeah, it should be a good time. I'm kind of just like wondering what to expect. Like, how do you even? Well, I mean, you market the show is pretty easy. Hamilton sells itself, right? It's not us that's really selling anything. We're not. We're just, you know, fans and performers. Barely. I'm barely a performer, I guess. I'm just a guy who's there. Oh yeah. Just wondering how it's going to be. You're selling it's easy. These places. I'm sure. If you love Hamilton, they're going to come and show out. But just the shows, like how big. I don't. I don't know how big this thing is. Excuse me. I don't know how big it is. Um, but it doesn't matter. I don't like how many people were there is whatever. But just this is gonna be something or open up doors is really, I guess, the question. I'm open. I'm trying to my way through my life right now and figure out what's going on, and I'm having a lot of fun doing this. Um, I know it's not gonna, it's not anything. It's just something I do. It's a hobby, right? And I have fun doing it, and I enjoy making the videos. And if anybody stumbles upon them one day and enjoys them too, awesome. Good. That'd be awesome. But I love doing this. I love doing the Rise Up show. The tribute was it's so much fun. We did do another one, a different one, once, but it was a disaster. It, it was marketed wrong, I think, and well, who cares? It doesn't matter. But I've done other ones, right? So I've done other type of performances, and I really do enjoy doing it. It's very very fun, very fulfilling, nerve wracking, anxiety ridden. Um, Drinking helps, but it it's fun. I really enjoy kind of giving, and it's I always just enjoy doing things. Like um, when my daughter did competitive dance, you know, at the competitions, at the recitals, like I used to have like these games in the back, just things for some of the kids to do, win prizes, win money and stuff like that. Just because it was just fun. I think I like kind of like putting on a show type of thing. And it's just a fun kind of way to show your creative side, I guess. And I guess people enjoyed it. Obviously, who doesn't want to win money or prizes? When if you have nothing else to do and you're just sitting around, why not? So entertaining is something I do like to do. I have a passion for. It's like a passion. I'm really loving it right now. Okay, doing that kind of stuff, and I know like, right now this stuff isn't a career or anything like that. Um, I've done a few shows. Um, that's pretty much it so far for this new career. But it's not a career; it's just something I'm doing right now until I figure my life out. Until I know where I want to be when I grow up. But if it did lead to something, that'd be fun. It doesn't mean ridiculousness, bullshit like that. But it just if it leads to other projects or other things that can be a part of that are whether that be singing or acting, performing somehow. Um, that'd be awesome. That'd be very rewarding, just to move on and do other things as well with it. And once again, it's also a hobby. So if it just continues to be just that, I'll be very happy with that. As like I said, I do enjoy doing it very, 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 very much. So I'll definitely continue doing it if I have the chance to, and if I could do something else that's performing as well, that'd be awesome. I'd love to do the Hamilton thing for the rest of my life, but I don't think it's going to work out, right? I don't think that's oh man, I can't reach fast. That's not what I was thinking at all. But that's not a real thing. It's not going to happen. No possible way. So has summer been weird? I know it's not officially summer yet, but has the weather been more off than usual lately for anybody else or me? It's like, I don't remember if I dreamed it now. Did it snow like not that long ago? Or it was way colder than usual. Or it's been way colder than usual for this time of year, I believe. So global warming, sure. It's, the weather seems to be doing whatever the hell it wants anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's been like weirdly back and forth. And I like that. It's been cool too. So I'm enjoying having having the top down on the car, and then I can wear this and like a beanie. Well, not during the day. Like in the day, just wearing this is fine. But like when it's cooler, when it starts getting dark and stuff like that. Put a beanie on because it starts to get a little chilly on the noggin. But yeah, but I remember it was getting really hot for a while. It's like up in the high 80s, almost 90, and then it's been dropping down. It hasn't been like anywhere near that at all. I don't think it's supposed to be like that anytime soon. Could be wrong, but it's just crazy. How things kind of changed. Because was it last summer? It's like the worst summer of all fucking time or something. Am I remembering that right? Or was it like the year before? There was just like summer. Ugh. To me, summer it feels like it never. I don't hate summer. It's my least favorite of the seasons. I just I liked it a lot more when I was younger, but now it's not a fall's my favorite, and then winter and spring are awesome too. Just summer's not a thing for me anymore. I mean, I think summer's definitely your favorite when you're a kid too, because you're off from school. Well, for people who go to normal school, where it's like you get off for summer vacation, it's like that. So it's probably more of a kid thing, or adults probably like it too because they go on vacation, go to the beach and stuff, and but it's just not me. I mean, do I enjoy? Have I been enjoying going to the beach with my family every year? Yeah, definitely. Me and my wife have a good time, and my daughter has a good time. So it's definitely a good escape for us to be able to get away as a family, especially since we don't do that as much anymore because we don't travel for dance. So the break from here isn't as often as it used to be when we were constantly dancing. But then you need a break from dance. It's like a lose-lose situation. But yeah, I've been having a great time, going to the beach with my family. So, and this year we're doing it twice. We're gonna go for my wife's birthday, like we always do. We've been doing that for the past 4 or 5 years. Maybe that's not accurate. Maybe definitely 3 at least. 3 to 5 years. We're also gonna go for my birthday, shorter time. And my wife asked me what I wanted to do, and I said, let's just go to the beach. More for her, and it's great too because she needs a break right now. She's been very busy at work and everything like that, and so she needs a little break. So it'll be good to kind of relax for a few days. But yeah, so we're going for my birthday. So just for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, so it'll be a good little pre-trip to the one that's later. That's like a week. We do like a week, I think. 8 days, 6, 7, 8 days. So 6, 7, 8 days, something like that. Gen Z. Who even knows what generation is that? See, maybe that's the thing too. When all the ones under you, you don't really care, right? Because Gen Z and Gen A are kind of the same thing to me. Punk bitches. No, they're just to me they're the same kid, but that's not because some Gen Z's like adults and are doing things. But in my head, they're not. I guess because you don't feel, we 42. I don't feel 42. I know I look 82, but I don't feel 42. Well, that's a fucking lie too. My body feels. I just said that. Oh, I said I look like I'm 82. My body feels like it's 82 as well, but I just don't. I guess mentally, I'm just like, we're still young. We're not. It seems like there's this problem as I get older. Everybody keeps pushing back the age to where you're supposed to just be old because nobody wants to be old. The 40s are a new 30s, or 50s are a new 40s, or something like that. It's... Thinking back to when I was a kid, though, I don't look or act, definitely not act, immature as shit still. Like, never grow up. Like, the 40-year-olds when I was a kid, I was nothing like they were. I think everybody thinks like that, but dead ass, like, no. Still feel like a kid half the time. Like, responsibilities, yeah, I have them. I have a lot of them. I'm a father, I'm a husband. So I have a lot of responsibilities. But what I mainly mean is like, I have a mortgage, I have car payments, I have car insurance. As most adults do, especially with the mortgage now. To me, it's like you're definitely an adult at this point. You have a house finally, and you're paying for it forever. But That's being of being an adult. But I do those things and I still don't feel like what I felt like those 40-year-olds were back then. Or maybe that's just your own mortality thinking that you're not what they were, but you are. Just things change, obviously. The world's a lot different than it was when I was, say, 14 and there's 40-year-olds. Well, prime example, when I was, so my dad turned 40 when I was 10. Yeah, about, let's say, like 13, like a teenager, was about almost what age I'm at now for, what he was. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like that either. Like in my head, he was just, well, a great dad, but like the epitome of being a responsible adult. And I'm not. I don't feel like that. It's weird. Or maybe I'm all wrong. I don't know. If you have any thoughts on it, please let me know. Please let me know I'm not the only one who's confused. But I think that goes with my millennial generation as well. It's not a why part. It's like the or why even in existence. It's just, what's the purpose? We're promised all these things. So you do this, you go to college, you're gonna be fine. That dream was great for a while. It worked till the tail end of Gen X, and I affect them a little bit too, I think. But it's just, affordable housing, all these things, just all these promises we were given came to fruition. So maybe that's why it's a little bit more of a Y generation too, or I generation. It's hard to think so much of your life too, just where you are. It's crazy. I was talking to my wife a couple days ago. I was just like, in the last 10 years, let's just say in the last 10 years, how much our lives changed from before that to after that. Just in 10 years. And I know, if you're younger or whatever, you're like, oh, just 10 years is a long time. When you're 40, it's, it's not, it doesn't feel like a full 10 years anymore. 10 years feels like 2 or 3 years in my head, kind of. But, 10 years ago, this perfect example is, we were still in North Carolina. We wanted to live there, or I wanted to retire there. I wanted to live there. And then jump past that point. I've been in Virginia the last 10 years. We love Virginia. We're living in Virginia right now. After I retire, we're still living here for now. The dance thing, my daughter, the many years of dance, and how much that was a big part of our lives. The main part of our lives, right? So all that in that last 10 years, and how much Emma's grown, obviously, in his last 10 years, but now it's like a new 10 years. Like, just thinking, where will we be in 10 years? Not even 10, just 5 years or 8 years. Well, let's say when I'm 50, 9-ish year, 8.5 years, whatever. I don't want to math right now. Eight and a little bit of years. But yeah, where will we be? How will we be? What will our lives be like? What will be things that we use to identify ourselves? And what is it? Our friend situation, this, that, like, it's so weird. You really don't think about that when you're young. Well, yeah, you do, because it's a major change. But when you're young, it's major. Like being 7 is this, and 10, and 13, and when you're older, it doesn't really matter. But you just don't know how much things are going to change in that time period. And that's just crazy. I really didn't realize it till before I think I was thinking about it about a week before my wife talked about it. So it's a brand new thing. Just this kind of realization. Well, I guess it's just because different stages of life too. I mean, you're very different in your 20s than in your 30s, in your 30s, and your 40s. And it's not everything. But it's things. It's things you can definitely tell. I think you change as a person a little bit. You're always who you were. I know you're always who you are. I think people have morals, and sometimes they change, but you grasp onto the same ones, and time doesn't really change that. But little ideologies and little ways that you see things change drastically, especially if like 20 to 40 different just tail ends of perspective of the world, and the way you kind of handle yourself and do things. It's a lot different for most people, except for the ones that haven't, who act like they're 20. Maybe it goes back to what they say that you're only as old as you feel. Maybe that's a real thing. Well, I still feel like I'm 80. I act like I'm, or think in my head like I'm 20 or 15 or 10. Depends what the joke is. Maybe it's the same thing with generations. Like, okay, I'm a millennial, but maybe I feel like a Gen X, or maybe there's Gen Zs who feel like millennials or feel like Gen X or feel like baby boomers. I don't know. Your ethics line up or something. Not ethics, because it's more like how you just act overall in real life. So maybe, yeah, maybe you can feel differently than what your supposed generation is that you were born in. I don't know. I don't know the answer. The answer is it's whatever we want it to be, right? It's all up for debate, for just suggestion. Okay, I think that's enough. So I kind of put off my way of the topic of the show, or the topic of the episode this time. The answer is Gen X, right? Gen X is the movie Kids is for in the lives of Gen X and how their lives were. So there's the answer to that question. But this has been Sean Speaks. If you liked it, please like it. Please comment whatever you want to say. Who cares what the hell it is? Put something on there. Make fun of me. I don't give a shit. And subscribe. That'll mean a lot. But if not, hopefully if so. But I will see you guys in the next one.